right, what's up, everybody? I'm TJ McClellan, broker of Fitness Realty. As you guys know, this is going to be episode 81 of the podcast. I'm excited to bring you this information. Episode 81 is going to be all about the biggest blind spot in real estate today. And I also think this is probably going to be the biggest blind spot in the future and probably forever. I actually think that this biggest blind spot is since the beginning of time until probably the end of the future, right? So I know I'm just caveating that to say this is probably the biggest blind spot. I'm about to drop just knowledge bombs all over the internet. So hopefully it's as big as what you guys think, what I just painted. But the biggest blind spot that I think about real estate from the past, present, and future is going to be all about inflation. Now, I probably just said inflation like, womp, womp. You don't want to talk about inflation. Inflation is everywhere. However, inflation is the key to helping everyone understand how the net worth works, or how cash flow in real estate works, or how owning assets in this country works. And so the inflation piece, I think, is very, very prominent, and that's the thing that we need to talk about. So obviously, inflation is just the talk of an asset price going up, or the cost of what it takes to buy that said asset. So like, let's take our parents, for instance. They may have bought their first house for $100,000. Their parents may have bought their first house for $50,000. I know somebody who bought their very first house for like $17,000 or $18,000. And those homes have all been inside Salt Lake County, Utah. So if you go and look around on the market, there's no home that you can buy for $18,000. It doesn't exist. There's no home that you can buy for $100,000. It doesn't exist in Salt Lake County. And so the inflation piece, like I said, is the prominent piece we need to talk about. Inflation, just to get it into everybody's thought pattern, is an asset costing more over time to purchase the same asset, right? Like the house in 1950 didn't go anywhere in Sugar House, but all of a sudden it went from $100,000 to $1.2 million, and then they bulldoze it and put a brand new house there. That's the inflation, okay? Now that we've kind of like structured what that looks like, I want to dictate what and why inflation is the biggest piece that we want to talk about and the biggest blind spot. So I've been on several panels of realtors and several panels of real estate brokers where we kind of just get asked questions from the audience, and these audiences have all been Stringham Real Estate School students, so people that are looking to get into real estate as a career field. And so they're asking us all sorts of questions: what it's like to be a realtor, what it's like to be a broker, what it's like to sell real estate on the side as a full-time job, whatever. One of the questions that just consistently comes up all the time is, when should I buy real estate? Should I buy now? Should I buy then? You know, what is they always ask, what is the best time to buy real estate? I have a quote on my rental property calculator that says the best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago. Well, obviously you guys can't do that. Neither can I. I wish that we could go back to that. I would have just bought every piece of real estate I could in the bottom of 2011. As you guys know, the financial market crashed in like 07 and 08, but it actually took 4 years in real estate in Utah to hit rock bottom. I've got some graphs we could show you and put up maybe, but all I want you to know is it took a long time to go down. Anyway, if I could go back and buy all the real estate then, I would, but I can't. So the best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago. That can't happen. Second best time is today, right? The best time the second best time that you could buy more real estate is right now. Obviously, you need to do your due diligence and look into every market and every deal you have, but the reason why we talk about buying real estate or the second best time to buy real estate right now is because it hedges against inflation. And like I said, the biggest blind spot to me is that inflation piece. We don't know where that's going. We don't know how much money the government's going to spend. We don't know how many trillions of dollars is going to be put onto the federal deficit. We don't even know how many trillions of dollars are going to get created. We do know that they're going to create more, right? That's the overall MO, or that's the overall mission of the government lately, has been to create dollars and create more of the spending, because that keeps the whole government, the entire economic system going. And so if you take that piece and look at it from a whole perspective, if the government's never going to slow down on spending and they're never going to stop creating trillions of dollars into the amount of money that's out there, then every asset class is going to go up. So if you take those assets, homes, let's take it, for instance, the Salt Lake County home. Right now, the average home price in Salt Lake County is $660,000. 5 years ago, it was half that. So in the last 5 years, the government has created trillions of dollars and trillions of dollars of spending and have created that asset price to go up 100%, essentially. And so, in my opinion, that is the biggest blind spot that people don't look at. The piece when they say, oh, is right now the best time to buy? Hell yeah. And most of that's because inflation is going to run away with that asset. And so if you buy a $500,000 house today and in 5 years it does 100%, now you're sitting on a $1 million asset. That's not a bad day. You know, maybe you paid $500 and you're fully leveraged. By the time 5 years comes and you're sitting on $1 million, you've only got a 50% payment in there, or, you know, minus principal and interest, you've probably paid it down a little, but there's a huge amount of equity that you'd be sitting on. So that, like I said, the biggest blind spot for me, past, present, and future, has been inflation. People that sit around on the sidelines and just wait for the market to come down and tank, whatever. In my opinion, you've got to get your foot on the train, the bullet train that took off, and that bullet train is called inflation. Okay, so on top of that, the biggest piece, like I said, with inflation is to own those assets. The best way to do that, in my opinion, is rental property. That asset class has proven to make people more and more millionaires than any other asset class. And a lot of that reason, or a lot of those reasons, are because all of the rules are baked to make people wealthy in real estate. It's just slow wealth. And by slow wealth, I just mean it's not get rich quick. Everybody loves watching HGTV. I love to watch it too. I love to watch people flip homes and make $200,000. And that's great. But making money in real estate the slow way, that has made more millionaires in America than any other asset class ever. So if you want more information about that, you can always text me, message me, whatever. So anyway, I would want to wrap it up with the inflation piece. It's never going to go away. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the American dollar never collapses. That would be crazy. Hopefully that never happens. But as it stands right now, inflation is high, and they're trying to curb that. But since it is high, you should own assets that are hedged against inflation. Okay, well, that's been everything on this episode. The biggest blind spot, in my opinion, like I said, inflation. If you wrap your head around that, you will become more successful. Your net worth will go up. And in the case of me being on all those panels, the overarching theme that everybody on that panel would say was they wished they bought more real estate earlier in their life. They wish they would have bought more. I'm trying to do that in my personal life right now. As you guys know, I've done episodes about that. But that is the overarching theme. Everybody wishes they would have bought sooner. So that's how you can curb inflation. That's how you can get rid of this blind spot out there. Get educated, learn more, grow. I'm bringing you that information. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.